Hello everyone, Bob here. Today we're going to talk about the 1991 film City Slickers. The film was directed by Ron Underwood. It stars Billy Crystal as a radio ad space salesman. Daniel Stern works for his father-in-law's grocery store. And Bruno Kirby is a successful sporting goods salesman. And they go on these wild adventures. And for example, when the movie starts, they're participating in the running of the bulls. And after they get home from that, you see that each one of them has their own issues. Billy Crystal's character is having a midlife crisis. Daniel Stern is in a loveless marriage, and he is cheating on on his wife with one of the other employees. And Bruno Kirby, he just married an underwear model, but he doesn't want to settle down and have children because he doesn't want to tie himself to one woman. It's Billy Crystal's 39th birthday, and Daniel Stern's character and the Bruno Kirby character have saved up their money, and they bought a package for the three of them to go on this cattle drive that is from New Mexico to Colorado. Some of the other people going on this drive, you have the Shalowitz brothers, who own an ice cream company. You have a father and son dentist team. Character named Bonnie, who is supposed to go on there with the cattle drive with a friend, but she didn't show, so she's there by herself. In addition to these guys, you have two cowboys, a cook, and the trail boss, whose name is Curly, and he's played by Jack Palance. And everything goes fine until a point, and then of course everything goes haywire, and it's comedy gold. This film it's a fun film. The music is excellent. The performances are excellent. The dialogue is very memorable. There are some parts that are hilarious. And my wife and I say lines from this movie to each other just when we're having fun. It's that kind of a movie. It's a fun movie to watch. My final rating for this is 8 out of 10. If you've not seen it, give it a shot. It's well worth the watch. So Jack Palance has actually won an Oscar for his role in this film, and everything goes right while he is the trail boss. He's tough, and he takes the Billy Crystal character. After he embarrasses him earlier, he kind of takes him under his wing and teaches him how to rope, and he helps him deliver a calf, and while the mom is dying. The calf, who Billy Crystal named Norman, we'll get back to him a little later, but everything's fine up until that point, and then Jack Palance dies, and or Curly, I guess, the character's name, and then everything goes haywire. One of the things, the cook gets drunk, gets to riding the wagon around like crazy, and drives it over the edge of a cliff, and which of course gets rid of all their food, and kills two of the horses. The other two cowboys get drunk, and they start throwing stuff, start trying to bully around the trail riders. And then there's a standoff, and at the end of the standoff, the cowboys end up leaving. And so the cook was injured earlier, so the father and son dentist hauled the leave to haul the cook away to get some help. And the two ice cream company owners and Bonnie leave in the morning, and at first Billy Crystal's character goes with him, but then he comes back to help Daniel Stern and Bruno Kirby drive the cattle the rest of the way. And they have all kinds of problems. They don't know what they're doing, but they get the job done in the end. Uh, Favorite part of this movie, of course, any part with Jack Palance. Jack Palance steals the show, and not that the other people in this movie don't perform well. They do. Everyone does a wonderful job with their parts, but he stole the show in this one. He gave a very solid performance. But my absolute favorite part is towards the end of the movie. Billy Crystal and Daniel Stern are having this conversation, and you make it or they make it think it's something that is he's having some kind of a problem performing or in adult situations or something, and he's like, because I know at first you feel inadequate and all this and that, and you're like, okay, well, what is it? And then Billy Crystal finally explains to him that you can watch something other than what you're recording on your VCR. You don't have to have it on channel 3. And it's just hilarious. And he starts going through this again, and Bruno Kirby says, enough! It's been 4 hours. You've been talking about the same thing. The cows could record something by now. But I just always thought that was really funny. There isn't really a least favorite part in this. The movie all flows together really well. Its pacing is good. Everything's done well. There isn't a spot I can really complain about. It's a great comedy film. My favorite musical part, towards the end, they bring the cattle herd to a stream, and they drive it across, and then Billy Crystal's character realizes that Norman is still in the creek, and he can't get out because the creek's rushing. And they build this. The music does a good job of escalating the tension and building things, and that's just was my favorite part, music-wise. Of course, Billy Crystal lassos the calf, Norman, and gets him out and takes him home. Then at the end, they find out that the cattle herds are going to be all sold to the meat company, and they all feel bad about that. And but Billy Crystal purchases Norman from the owner and adopts him and takes him back to New York with him. The deaths in this film, Curly dies of natural causes, and of course the aforementioned 2 horses that die when the wagon crashes because the cook gets drunk and drives them off a cliff. Unfortunately, I do not yet own the City Slickers Shout Factory release. I currently just have the standard Blu-ray. In fact, the version I have, it's just the standard Blu-ray, but it's got a slipcover on it where Deadpool is the Billy Crystal character. But fingers crossed, one of these days I will come across and add the Shout Factory release to my collection, and we can revisit this movie then. That's all I really got to say about this movie. It's a solid comedy. I recommend you give it a chance if you haven't already. I thought it would be appropriate to kind of have a change of pace from all the horror and the dark movies that I've been talking about, and I thought this movie would be the perfect movie to fit the bill. That's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please give me a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new videos up every day. I live in Northwest Missouri, so my internet is kind of iffy. So fingers crossed that happens. Doesn't always, like I say. I'll try to keep my Facebook and Twitter page updated when there's delays, but it is what it is. A lot of it's out of my control. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter to search for Bob the Film Guy. And for now, this is Bob, signing off.